If it's too long, it takes too long.
Back.
Check it out,
Go
y'all.
ahead.
Now we back to God Lily's Cup Conventions, Wednesday, 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock. It's a little late. We're going a little late. Now back on what we was talking about, eminent domain. You don't get paid. It's not like when fast tracks come to your neighborhood and they buy you off your property.
Right.
No, they're saying you haven't done shit here. It sits here. It's an eyesore now. So I don't care that you own it and you paid us 30 years in taxes of good business money because when you was a business, you paid us well. That's why we never bothered you. But since you're older and you probably don't do as much, or you're not, the business is just basically you have an empty building there and you pay taxes every year though. You have paid your taxes. Because other than that, we'd have been took your shit.
So even though they still pay their taxes,
Eminent domain.
if they're not doing anything with it, it's not being active.
Eminent domain. See, on Saturday, we got down there at the end of the time of the meeting. All y'all had left already. So we got down there at 4:30, 4:15. Y'all said it was going from 12 to 5.
Right.
So we got down to, remember we told you we had a lot, we had a lot going on with these X Games. But we wanted to make sure we made it. So luckily, I'm glad that we actually missed everyone.
But what happened?
And we caught the owner of the climax,
Okay,
the young guy. And he's the one that broke down, because we didn't see, talking to Yvette,
Right.
she told us about the aspect of them taking the business, but she didn't break down the law or the statute they was using, which is eminent domain, and describe what they was actually doing. We sat there with an hour and a half, had a couple drinks, and it was just us three, and we really politics. And we're gonna do a couple things there. We're gonna do some things. We're not gonna talk about it today,
Right.
but yeah, I got his logos, I got his stuff that'll be up on the site. We're about to run the link for him. And the thing about it is, when you ride down Welton, let's be devil's advocate. I can't be the black guy because I'm black and I'm from Park Hill.
Right,
And,
right.
if I really want to run for office at 50, I'd have to look at the law and I'd have to go, okay, my feelings. I just let my feelings out. Now let's be the opposite now. And let's be the government. And let's say, okay, you did pay us 30 years of taxes. Thank you. And for 7 years, we haven't bothered you that you've only paid just a building tax. Ain't said a word to you. Might be 10, might be 15. Some of these buildings might be up to 20 years. They haven't said shit. Just took the tax money. Now they're saying we're putting this money in this neighborhood, and everything that you black owners have cried about, us building up the neighborhood to make it look better, we're doing it. But now this eyesore is in the middle of our remodel.
That's you know what? That's mafia shit.
But it's not only mafia though, but it's this though. It's this. How many years? If you're from here, how many years have the 5 Points had talk shit and rally, and every year for the 5 Points, they cry about getting money to remodel. But let's look at the 5 Points now. It's actually starting to look really nice because they're putting money in there to remodel. But now, once again, there's your devil's advocate view. Now, being devil's advocate, let's go back to my feelings. Eminent, take my shit. I paid everything I'm supposed to. Now, let's call out the owners of these buildings that, I'm sorry that these owners have buildings that their kids or possibly have no kids that can take over these buildings. Here's your solution. Because you can't be the asshole and call nobody out without a solution. Here's your solution. Now you have these buildings, but you also have a lot of young talent in these cities that you see do good business at fairs, at rallies, and they work out their homes. So instead of having a person, you take your building and you take offers and you give them a plan of a year to get on their feet. You give them 6 months free rent, but they have to remodel the building to get it up to working code. So basically, they're getting the building back going. Now, if it's too much, then the owner needs to go half in on it if it's just really in that bad of shape. But if it's in decent shape and it's not much to get it going, then you don't pay me rent for 6 months, but you might have put a couple G's into getting going. But at 6 months, I don't charge you full rent. I charge you half of what your full rent's gonna be for another 3 months.
Until you get your business going.
And then the last 3 months, I charge you everything but 25% of what your full rent will be. At a year, hopefully, you're running at full capacity to pay rent, and you've had a year to build your business, to make the building as you want the building. And if a person has a chance to do that and get their business going and they have a good motto and they can get people in their door, they will not leave your place. You know why? Because they built it up. They fixed it up to their vision. They came into a place that they had to make applicable. So you made your vision come alive. Most people's going to be there 5 to 10 years if they put their own blood, sweat, and tears into it. You're not apt to just go. You're not apt to just jump out and go unless you just blow up and you can get that $1 million building and then you're like, okay, it's a storage facility. You forgot about your hands.
Frank, have you ever heard of this place that here in Colorado that you can they either let you have this kitchen cheap or free? It's legal that you can start your own business or cook in.
I've heard something about the kitchens. I haven't heard of where it is. I didn't hear much about it.
Start a kitchen.
No, like for do edibles. Like if you want to do the edibles, you gotta have a certified kitchen. But they have kitchens that they'll rent you that's already certified. So therefore, now all you got to do is get your business legal and all that, and you can start doing edibles. But I don't know the difference in dispensary legalization, edibles legalization, if they're trying to hit you with that $15,000 fee, or is it a lower fee to even get registered as a business in that capacity, which is deterring to a lot of people to get into the industry. That's why you gotta get your money up.
That could go there, but he was doing
barbecue. Yeah, definitely. It'll make you do that.
I think the kitchen was either free or very cheap.
I mean, I doubt if it's free unless it's funded by state. But if it's funded by state, we'd all know about that kitchen.
Yeah.
That kitchen would be, he's paying a couple bucks. But I mean, you gotta look at it. If the owners, instead of being, he looks like he wears his pants low and they don't understand hip hop theory because they came from R&B and blues. Cool. Right now, they want to take your shit. Okay, just point blank to the face. Fuck Candy Coat, eminent domain. No, I'm going to take your shit because you have been unproductive to your neighborhood. That's what's really happening. So it's not just the opposite of what's being said in the meetings that they just want to take it. No. You guys don't want to work with the neighborhood also. So it's actually a call out. Are you going to be so stubborn and let them take your shit? Or are you going to work with one of us aspiring businesses that want to try? At least try it. If I fail in a year, okay, bring another business in and try the model again. What are you losing? Nothing. I remodeled your building. Now your building can't get fucked with for another 7 to 10 years because it's up to code. Now you put another business in there and give another motherfucker a try. Somebody's going to succeed.
You want to show it to him?
Yeah, I'd like to give you a little history on eminent domain, how long it's been around. The concept of eminent domain is not new. It has existed since biblical times. Miss Guy Lily in the house.
All right.
When King Ahab of Samaria offered Naboth compensation for Naboth's vineyard in 1789, France officially recognized a property owner's right to compensation for taking property. In the French Declaration of the Rights of Man,
taking property, the word, not paying me,
it goes,
not getting nothing. Did you see the key word in everything you just said?
It goes on. It goes
on.
That's in 1789. That's French now. 1789. Owner's rights to compensation for taking property. In the French Declaration of the Rights of Man and the Citizen, which reads, property being inviolable and sacred right, no one can be deprived of it unless the public necessity plainly demands it, and upon condition of a just and previous indemnity. Shortly,
if it's toe up, basically.
Toe up from the flow up.
If you have not seen, so you got to understand what I'm saying. You got to understand the government, but you got to feel the black owner down there.
Right.
But you got to feel the government.
Right.
Get that eyesore, that tore up shit fixed up.
Right.
Here you go. Here's the kicker. Shortly after the French Declaration in 1789, the United States acknowledged eminent domain in the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, which states,
so basically Colorado just started to decide to start
nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation. See,
Oh, you
that was
don't
all I
even
was
gotta
looking
pay
at.
you.
Now, see, I just had an epiphany as you said what
They
you
don't even
said.
gotta pay
Because
you.
now,
I thought they
Because
had
now
to
you know
pay
what?
something.
it's bigger than that now. Because now let's look at it. Let's look at the
More
neighborhoods. I've been talking about regentrification.
So that's why they let it go down.
Where-
You know it's worth money.
Basically, the neighborhood.
That's my
If
mind.
anybody remembers when I grew up, I was born on the east side, 2635 Gaylord. Well, as black people started making money, it was like the Jeffersons to be moving on up when you move from the east side to Park Hill. And if you stayed in the east side, most likely you guys just never moved on up in your pockets. Either you owned a business and you just stayed over there, or you just never got your hustle up. You stayed poor. And y'all just didn't do good. So you went to Manual and East. Poor.
Yeah.
But then you moved to Park Hill and you went to George. Nice.
Okay.
Place, South,
So you moved on
TJ.
up. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Just being real. And
Yeah,
then
TJ.
in Park Hill, the line was drew again. Monaco.
Okay.
If you stayed on this side of
Right,
Monaco,
that side.
you was kind of paid and black. But if you was on this side of Monaco,
You're on the
you
tracks.
was doing well. But on another line,
Oh,
if you
my
was
God.
on Monaco, you was
Yeah.
kingpin.
I know.
You had money.
Because when I first
Because
came
you
here, that's
was
where
the
everybody
biggest house
did business.
other than Mount View. And Mount View was just white. And that was just
Right.
the white people that just said, fuck y'all, I don't care if all the white people move out the neighborhood. We're not giving up this
Right.
motherfucking house. And when you drive down Mount View, you see all those big ass houses.
still there.
They've owned those houses for 30 and 40 years.
Yeah.
And you hardly ever see one of those houses up for sale.
That's
Hardly ever have seen one of those houses up for sale. And I grew up in this neighborhood. Like, you just don't ride down and be like, that was for sale. No.
Yeah.
They've had them houses
Yeah.
in their family.
Yeah.
Like, and the only thing you've seen happen is they remodeled it and touched the outside of the house up like a real remodel. Like we remodeled the inside. They redo the outside. Like it looks beautiful outside and inside. Like we redid everything. Like they had pillars, but now they black. Like they do other shit. And that's one of the things you've seen. And if you look at it, this is what happened. As the airport and all the white communities start complaining about the planes from Stapleton. They was so loud in Park Hill that they had all the brick houses and it was the better neighborhood, but the planes. And if you ever lived in Park Hill,
Yep,
they
I
almost
did.
touch your trees.
Yep.
Like at our house, we was 6 blocks from the airport, Niagara, Quebec. Airport.
You better
Bam.
look at that shit right there.
Like literally, it took us 7 minutes at best to be at the gate at the airport. Wow, in there. Like that's how close we stayed to the airport. And as the planes kept coming in and they kept complaining, the other neighborhoods seemed to have better houses. Green Valley and all that. They sold their houses out and moved out to these wood houses. Well, they got to the wood houses and realized we let go of our fucking brick houses in Park Hill. Let the urban community take over
Yeah.
these brick houses.
We're
tearing them
coming
up.
back.
Wait a minute. Don't even respect them.
We're
We
coming
did move
back,
in, not respecting
damn it.
them. Only few families stayed in the hood a long time, like our families, like the Rogers, like some pillars in the community that kept their shit up. But we moved in, distracting a great brick neighborhood. So what they did was, everybody's complaining about the airplane still. Great. Our airport is too small, it's inadequate, and we need to update it to compete to get more money to the airports. Oh yeah, Chambers, by the dump, all that land.
Oh, they gonna they
Move it.
build
As soon as they
out
moved
that way.
it, it wasn't just a bunch of meetings about moving the airport. It was about moving the airport and moving the individuals that was in Park Hill out of Park Hill and bringing back your white community. Which, if you go there now, never in a lifetime have you ever seen, it'd be 5 in the morning, still dark, you see a white lady running out with her dogs. When I grew up as a kid, no. You would not have seen a white lady at 5 in the morning jogging with a dog in Park Hill.
With a stick.
It was a couple. It was like a couple poor white families that just been there, and just like on my view that said, "Fuck that." I'm not leaving my brick house. And as the black families moved in, they basically said, y'all my new neighbors, what's up? And like my boy Dwayne Cooter, he's a DJ too, DJ Cooter.
We'll be right back. Right back. All right.